Well, good evening.
Hey, what's happening, B? That was a little weird. Hold on a second there, program. All right.
What are
Well,
you
because it
doing?
was fading in and out before. And I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm the engineer in the producer, so I don't have a guy.
And I'm the guy who's wondering
Yeah,
what the engineer and
I
producer
don't
is
have a
doing.
guy behind me, B. Doing it for me. Someday, B. Someday, me and you will be there. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't that be nice?
So, B. Helicopter crashes into a jetliner landing in Ronald Reagan International Airport.
They were seconds away from touching down. Those
Literally.
poor people.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got something here we're going to throw up and have our.
Don't say throw up, please. Don't
All right,
don't
don't
say
say throw
throw
up.
up.
We're going to put something up. And for everybody to take a listen to. Be right back. Not right back. Well, oh God, help me! I got it, B. It's all under control, baby.
Okay.
Welcome to the News Hour.
Glad to
We are
hear it.
following two major stories tonight. More of President Trump's cabinet picks face tough questions during confirmation hearings today. But first, investigators are trying to determine why a military helicopter collided in midair with a passenger jet as the plane was trying to land at Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. Officials say they believe everyone on board both aircraft were killed.
The plane, which was flying from Wichita, Kansas, was carrying 60 passengers and a crew of 4. 3 soldiers were aboard the Black Hawk helicopter. It is the deadliest air crash in the United States in more than 2 decades. John Yang begins our coverage with this report.
This is the terrifying moment of impact when an American Airlines flight with 64 people on board collided with an Army helicopter as the passenger jet was landing at Washington.
Okay, B. So I gotta pause it right there. Okay, because
Okay.
there's just a treasure trove of things that I see. I'm no expert. I'm no aviation expert or anything. I'm just gonna say what my eyes are telling me. Okay. And we'll
Okay.
get to the point, or when you play devil's advocate, like I'm crazy. So all right, let's come back
This
here.
is the terrifying moment of impact.
Okay, so did you see any of this, B?
Yes, I have. I have seen this, and I know some more information about this than maybe what you might realize. But go ahead,
Oh,
please.
okay. Anyhow, so you can see my cursor is like a
Right,
lime
right, right.
green. I put it that way so everybody could see it. So this right here, that is a passenger jet that is ready to land coming in. This in the
Yeah.
back is the approaching jet. Okay. This that might look like a star or whatever because it's so far away. This where you can't see it, ladies and gentlemen, but you could see my cursor. Okay. And where my cursor points to is a little white light. Now, when we put the image to go forward, you'll see that little dot
When an American Airlines flight
get closer, which is right here. And here is the jetliner.
was 60.
Again, here is the white dot. Here is the airliner.
I think you're on the wrong spot, but go ahead.
No, I'm not.
64
Go
people
ahead.
on.
Okay. Now they zoom it in, and again, here's the helicopter. Here is the
All right.
jetliner.
Board collided with an Army helicopter as the
Boom.
passenger jet was landing at. People on board
Boom.
collided with
Boom.
an Army.
Boom. B, my question to you, bud.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to leave it right here, and I'm going to leave my cursor on it. That is.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, please ask your question.
So I'm leave my cursor on it because that's where the helicopter is. Again, jet
Okay.
helicopter. How come the helicopter didn't maneuver out of the way, B? The
Now,
helicopter maneuverability.
they have been
The
playing. Are
helicopter
you going to let me answer?
the helicopter maneuverability is outstanding. So go ahead.
Okay. They have some issues with air traffic control, and they air traffic control asked them, "Do you see the airplane?" And they responded, "Yes." However, nobody's certain whether the airplane that they saw is the one they collided with or the other one that was outbound. If they zoomed out of this, you would see while this plane was landing, there was another plane that was on its way out, which is crazy, sick air traffic control, if you ask me. But whatever. I believe the people in the helicopter may have seen the aircraft that was traveling out and away, and they did not because they may have been using night vision goggles. They did not see the aircraft that they wound up colliding with.
Why wouldn't they see the aircraft that they collided with?
If they had night vision goggles
Night.
on, this is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you would have.
you don't have no
That's it.
peripheral vision unless you turn your head. I get that. I get that. But you could still see the jet.
And air traffic control was saying, "Do you see the airplane?" Yes, I see the airplane. Not saying there's another airplane right here. Understand?
No, I understand what you're saying. I mean, yeah, okay. So you're saying that they had their head turned to look for a plane coming out.
Their eyes were fixed on an aircraft, but it was the wrong aircraft, not the aircraft.
So you're
the air
saying
traffic
this
control
is
was
so
trying
you're
to call
saying
their
this was
attention
split
to.
second? You know, split second?
Well, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been only a split second.
Okay.
I mean, number
3
one,
seconds.
the helicopter
3
was flying
seconds.
at the wrong
Altitude.
height.
At the wrong
In that
altitude.
area, by regulation,
That's
says they
where
are
they're
not supposed
wrong.
to go
Number
above
one.
200
Number
feet.
one, that's the first thing. Number one, this would have never happened if they were that high. You understand? Number two, yes, having night vision goggles on, you can't see out of your peripheral unless you turn left or right. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Number one, okay, the air traffic control says, "Oh, hey, guys, by the way, do you see the plane?" Yes, the plane, the plane. You know, the air traffic control guy didn't, say, "Hey, do you see a flight, to your west at 330, fucking degrees here or there, whatever." Just said
Traveling
that.
at the speeds that those aircraft are traveling at, perhaps they did not have time to get that specific.
Wait a minute. Wait, but in the beginning, you said that there was one traffic controller working the helicopter and the jet plane, right?
One air traffic controller will be working several
No,
different
that's
flights.
not how they do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not how they do that. You can't have an air traffic controller guy, that person or woman that does planes, then do helicopters. You know what I mean? You can look that up. I encourage everybody to look that up because that was one of the things that I looked up.
Okay, so then why?
Because
why
management, because the head guy that was in charge at that time said, "Hey, you can manage." Okay, instead of calling in somebody or getting somebody to watch the helicopter traffic. Number one.
Okay, so then there was one person that was doing dual
Yes.
roles then.
Yes. Again, the supervisor.
Okay, so don't say no, it didn't happen, and then turn around and say that's
I didn't
what happened.
say no, that
Because
didn't
apparently
happen.
that's what
I
happened.
didn't say anything about that didn't happen. Why do you think I'm explaining it to everybody? I never uttered that word, said that didn't happen. That
Okay,
was again, he was ordered or told by his or hers supervisor to, also monitor helicopter. Now, anything below 300 feet or even 200 feet, radar can't pick up. Okay. So how did this person know to tell the other person, hey, watch for this helicopter? Or unless the helicopter just popped in radar view, and instead of saying, what the hell's this helicopter doing there? You know, again, number two, number one, helicopter shouldn't have been flying at 350 feet. Number two, the airline traffic person should not have been looking at a helicopter and a jet airliner at the same time. Okay? That's two for me. Three for me is you're not going to tell me that helicopter pilot did not see that fucking jetliner. That's my 1, 2, and 3 right there, B.
I suppose we will never know for absolutely certain
I don't know, B. You got
whether or
three?
not the helicopter saw or did not see the jetliner. I'm guessing they did not see the jetliner that they collided with. I'm guessing when they made the transmission saying that they did see the
It's a
aircraft,
jetliner.
they were talking.
This particular jetliner is the size of a fucking yellow school bus.
Okay, and there was another, as I said, there was another aircraft that was apparently outbound.
Right. Right. Okay, so
I'm
well, let's
saying the
say,
helicopter saw the one that was outbound
so we could
and
say
did not see the one that they
so we
collided
could
with.
say that number 4 fuck up is air traffic controller not getting the proper feedback or anything, or he didn't deliver or she didn't deliver the proper communications to the helicopter. Okay, all right. Number 1, I don't I thought that this military craft has a different frequency than air traffic controlling, because again, this helicopter is supposed to be traveling under 200 feet or at 200 feet. Pilots do it every day. Everybody says, well, why do they gotta, fucking fly, helicopters next to the airport and this and all that stuff like that? It literally is to train, okay, the helicopter pilots that, God forbid, again, if we're going into Afghanistan and we get to land troops next to a fucking airport or whatever the situation may be, you have to be trained to do that, you know? So,
Of course.
so there's 4 fuck ups. Okay.
Now, as far as height distances and so forth are concerned, I live in an area in my backyard, and throughout the area, we have stands of trees that are reaching about 100 feet tall,
Tall
literally.
bastards, huh?
Yes, they're very old established woods. And they're tall. So I see. I look out my window. I see the tops of the trees, and I have to imagine another 100 feet above that, and that's plenty of room for a helicopter to be flying.
All right.
Why, in an area that is as busy as Dulles Airport is a military helicopter operating at such an increased height when they have restrictions which say you are not to go above 200 feet in this flight zone? Why they were that high,
Right.
I don't know.
Or again, if air traffic control does have their frequency and can talk to them, why couldn't that person just have reached out and said, whatever, helicopter, 974, drop to 200 feet immediately. Collision, drop to 200 feet immediately. I don't know what the fuck they say to get the attention, but that sounded pretty cool. And I think I would get some pilot's attention by saying collision, drop to 200 feet immediately. I don't know. I'm not an air traffic controller. I'm just going by what I read and, what I've been hearing. And, I'm just dropping my own opinion on it,
Well,
Look,
we could
there ain't Monday night
quarterback
quarterbacking anything. We're giving our opinion. I'm not saying what we would have
saying is
done.
the main thing about it is there's over 60 people that are dead because of this,
67.
and we got to figure out.
67.
Yeah, there's over 67 people that are dead.
Yeah.
And we got to
This is
figure
the
out what
terrifying
in the
moment
hell
of
happened
impact when an
and
American
why.
I just can't, it's like this for me. It's like, here's the helicopter, here's the jet. Na, 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 boom. Okay, you got all theories. Oh, they said, "Go, can you see the plane?" And the helicopter pilot comes back to the tower and says, "Yes, I can see the plane," not knowing that there was a plane departing from the airport at that time. So nobody knows if the helicopter pilot was looking for the plane departing on in the airport, you know what I mean? Or was it looking at the plane in the jet in the sky? Because either way, if he's looking at the one in the sky, you'd think you would hear a "oh fuck," over the comms or something. And I just can't see. This is this is plenty of time, B. Let's do a time relapse here. Best that we can. All right, boom. It's just obviously, this ain't scaling and shit like that. So, all right. So we're at 43 seconds. Okay. So let's go for see how long until it actually crashes into this jet.
This is the terrifying moment of impact when an American Airlines flight with 64 people on board collided with an Army helicopter as the
All right. Impact was at 52. All right. So we started at 47. So actually 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Again, this ain't the scale. I'm sure if it was, actually measured, we'd whatever. But you all understand what I'm getting at here, right? Everybody. So 5 seconds. Yeah. So you see the plane? Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to go back further in time than at
Well,
this start
because
point,
we don't know if air traffic controllers talk to them right now, which they do.
This is the terrifying moment of impact.
I'm telling you, I
American
saw a
Airlines
video.
flight with 64 people on board.
Right. This guy's talking to him already.
Okay, wait.
Hold
Back
on,
up again.
hold
Back it up.
on. I'm trying to get it, buddy.
This
It says PAT something. Do you have CJR in sight? So he did say the numbers.
Do me a favor. Start this video, let it run, and don't say a word.
All right. Yeah. Pat 25. Do you have?
I just said don't say.
I'm reading what it said.
Let it run.
So I'm reading what it said.
Let it run, and I want to point something out.
Okay.
Coverage with this report.
This is the terrifying moment of impact when an American
Hold it. Now, do you see that plane that's taking off?
Airlines flight with
You see that plane is
This
taking
plane
off?
up here is coming
Right
in.
there.
That's not taking off. That's coming in.
That's taking off. It is increasing.
No, it's not. It's coming in.
64 people on board.
Well, you could be right, B.
Is the deadliest air crash in the United States in more than 2 decades.
Video.
John Yang begins our coverage with this report.
This is the terrifying moment of impact when an American Airlines
Yeah,
flight
you're right.
with 64
Yeah, I agree with you.
people on board
Okay, so what's your
collided with an
point?
Army helicopter.
That plane that was taking off, that may be the plane, the aircraft that the helicopter crew said, yes, we see the plane.
Okay.
Not knowing that this other one was in very close proximity to them.
Well, I can't see exactly what angle this is really at, but here's a helicopter. Again, my cursor, helicopter, jet, other plane.
You can't see the helicopter because the helicopter does not have any emergency
Yes,
lighting
it does.
on it. It is a military helicopter, and they were saying that they did not operate their lights.
If you look real good, you'll see that it flashes. Okay.
This is the terrifying moment. This is the terrifying moment.
Right there. If everybody pays attention, you'll see. Oh, God. I don't know. Enlarge your screen, folks.
The terrifying moment of impact.
Right there. You can see the lights under the belly flash.
This is the terrifying moment.
God damn it.
This is the terrifying moment of impact when an American Airlines
Right
flight.
there. Anyways, I could see the light on the belly before like fucking 2 seconds before it crashes. So they had their lights on. You know, I don't know about floodlights or whatever it is, but they had
Flight with
you know,
64 people on board.
the flash. See
Collided
it? You
with
can
an
see it
army
right there.
helicopter.
Oh shit! I forgot they zoomed in. You can just fucking see it right there. You'll see the helicopter underbelly.
Flight with 64 people on board.
See it? Right there. It's flashing.
People on board.
Yeah, just flashed. Anyways, so
Collided with.
Yeah. Again, they shouldn't have been up so high. 350 feet. They're almost 200 feet over than what they were supposed to be in the first damn place. They shouldn't have been that high. I don't care. Okay,
here's the question. Why were they that high?
I don't. Right.
Were they experiencing some sort of technical problem?
I don't know, B.
Did they do a rapid increase in height to avoid hitting something else?
Nah. Hold on, B. Nah.
With an Army helicopter as the passenger jet was landing at Washington Reagan National Airport.
Did you see that?
The fiery crash came just before 9 Wednesday night, triggering a massive search and rescue effort. Hundreds of first responders frantically probed the icy water of the Potomac River. At daybreak, Washington, D.C. Fire Chief John Donnelly said they'd recovered dozens of bodies, but no one's still alive.
So, so stick around for more of a FFN Network special investigation of the helicopter and the jetliner crash. We will be right back. One of your hosts, Blazeman, of course, my boy down the bottom there with his New Hampshire shirt on. My boy, Mr. B. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in about 3.5 minutes. All right, so stick around for more of the FFN Network special.
We are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident.
Today, the wreckage of the Bombardier CRJ-700, a popular regional jet, sat in waist-deep water, split into 3 pieces. As first responders continued their work, questions swirled about how the crash could have happened on a clear night in the nation's capital. During a White House news conference, President Trump blamed the 3 soldiers flying the helicopter.
The people in the helicopter should have seen where they were going. I can't imagine people with 20/20 vision not seeing, what's happening up there. Again, they shouldn't have been at the same height.
He also blamed, without offering proof, DEI policies that he said had been set in motion by former Presidents Obama and Biden and former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website.
I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level.
Jennifer Homendy, chair of the National Transportation Safety Board, said investigators will consider all factors.
As part of any investigation, we look at the human, the machine, and the environment. So we will look at
Wichita,
So,
Kansas.
oh, sorry, everybody.
Anyone still
I'll
alive.
get back there.
World about how the crash could
Listen, so, there he goes. He's up to his foot into mouth, Mr. President.
I don't
He
know
doesn't
about
know
that.
any of that. You know what I mean? He doesn't know. He's saying the same fucking shit that we're saying right now. You know what I mean? He don't fucking know either. To come out and say shit like that, boy. Let's see. Puts his foot in his mouth, Trump.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website.
Okay, so what does that have to do with the military pilots?
I don't know about the military
But
pilots.
that's who he's
but that-
talking
what it has
about.
to do with the air traffic
That's who
controllers.
he's talking about, though, B.
No, he's talking about the air
Irrelevant.
traffic controllers.
Irrelevant. There should be.
It's
How
not
is it not irrelevant? The helicopter is the one that
if
hit
the
the jet.
FAA put into place somebody who was not qualified
The
to do the
helicopter
job,
is the one that hit the jet, not vice versa.
was the air traffic control? Were they acting under orders or under control of the air traffic controller, which may have been inept?
What?
If the air traffic controller was an idiot,
How is this the air
helicopter
traffic
pilot was
controller's
following-
fault?
All right.
The
If they gave wrong information,
That's
or if
not.
they did
That's
something,
not. Look, man. Again, you're sitting there at your job like I am right now, fucking looking at screens. Okay, so let's say that there's radar, and all I'm really trained to do is to fucking find aircraft, planes, not helicopters. If one pops up in my radar, yes, I have the qualifications to identify it as a helicopter, okay, or whichever. Again, this had nothing to do with the fucking people flying the jet, and it had nothing to do, or it shouldn't be the fault of the air traffic control guy, considering that his supervisor said, look, I want you to watch airplanes and I want you to watch fucking helicopters now. The helicopter would have never been on the radar if it would have fucking stood at 200 feet like it was supposed to. Okay? And you're not going to tell me that the pilot of this helicopter did not see this jet airplane.
do we know that the helicopter was up at that improper height, that they went there on their own, versus did the air traffic control issue them orders telling them to increase their flight, their
Height.
whatever
Yeah,
their height
yeah.
to that distance?
I don't see why they would.
Maybe
Some people are just thinking that this is just like, a Black Hawk helicopter that was doing training and stuff. Okay. Again, these Black Hawk helicopter people, they use that as a training. Okay. That pathway, they train everyone that flies Black Hawks that pathway because one of these things could be carrying a fucking general. One of these things could be carrying Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense. Do you understand? That's why they do these training things, because they have very high quality, people that they, move around there.
well, this time somewhere along the line somebody fucked up.
Okay. Well, yeah, somebody did. And I don't think it's the air traffic controller. That he or she was told to fucking do that. Okay? I hope if it was me, it would have been under protest. I'll tell you that.
Well, who told them
A
to do that?
supervisor. I told you 4 times.
Well, then the air traffic controller supervisor is a freaking idiot. Was that person a DEI hire?
I don't know. But I think to jump on something like that real quick, is, I don't know, for me, yeah, too quick, too fast. Let's listen to more.
Trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level.
Jennifer Homendy, chair of the National Transportation Safety Board, said investigators will consider all factors.
As part of any investigation, we look at the human, the machine, and the environment. So we will look at all the humans that were involved in this accident. Again, we will look at the aircraft, we will look at the helicopter, we will look at the environment in which they were operating in. That is standard in any part of our investigation.
On X, Buttigieg called Trump's response despicable. As families grieve, Trump should be leading, not lying. Time for the president to show actual leadership and explain what he will do to prevent this from happening again. The mid-air collision was in some of the country's busiest and most sensitive airspace.
Hid in his office when they had a train wreck and they were burning freaking toxic chemicals that are poisoned the ground for God knows how many decades. The hell with Buttigieg, Juju Flutes, whatever the hell his name is.
Within sight of both the Capitol and the White House. Flight tracking data showed the Black Hawk helicopter was heading south along the river's path at an altitude of about 400 feet. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
On a routine annual retraining.
I mean, call me retarded or whatever, but he was sworn in. He is the Secretary of Defense now?
He is the Secretary of Defense.
God damn.
Night flights on a standard corridor for a continuity of government mission. The military does dangerous things. It does routine things on the regular basis. Tragically, last night, a mistake was made. And I think the president is right. There was some sort of an elevation issue that we have immediately begun investigating at the DoD and Army level.
The flight originated in Wichita, Kansas, a nonstop route introduced just last year. Today, there were tributes for the dead, including Sam Lilly, the 28-year-old first officer on the passenger jet. Among the passengers on the American flight were several U.S. American figure skaters and 2 former world champion Russian skaters, now coaches, all returning from a training camp for elite skaters that followed last week's U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Wichita.
Moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Much like everyone here has been saying, is not sure how to process it. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Which is why I'm here.
Olympic figure skater Nancy Kerrigan is a former member of the Skating Club of Boston.
You see how fucked up the media is, or anybody that's trying to get some kind of fucking story, right? Because the tears are real. So nobody's gonna go in their pocket and hand her a napkin. You know what I mean? It's sad.
Which said 6 of its members were on the flight, including young Spencer Lane and his mother, Christine.
We just wish them well.
Yeah, what did you say to me when I had brought this up and said Boston alum? Because when you're from Massachusetts.
I have no idea what you meant by alum.
Oh,
What does that have to do with
I don't know,
being a
because you tore
skater?
it up pretty good. So I was just wondering.
Well, yeah, but I don't. What does alum have to do
Alum,
with skating?
fucking, sports figures, Nancy Kerrigan, from Boston, these poor children and their
Say sports
families.
figures. Don't say alum. It's not like they went and got a freaking doctorate degree in
I'm
ice
just
skating.
B.
It's just
It's just a
they're just
fucking
skaters.
just a
So
figure
what?
of speech, like fucking Boston alum. Same thing with Tom
That's a figure
Brady.
that don't add up in
Tom
my book.
Brady, you know what I mean? He's part of Boston. The community was here for 20 years. A Boston alum. That's all. That's all I said. You know what I mean? Well,
Again, Boston's a slum.
I'm
I'll
just
agree.
saying that those could have been possible fucking future skaters for the U.S. Olympic team. This is
But
there's
they
more.
didn't alum from anything, so I don't know. But go ahead.
Just do it. I
Go on.
said, and hello. So again, it was easy. That's all.
And like the families, the courage and the strength to make the next steps. I don't know how you look at people go through tragedies and you wonder how do they do it. I don't know, but we're so strong. Somehow we have a reservoir to dig from, and each one of them are strong enough to get through this somehow.
Doug Zegheib is the club's CEO.
Skating is a very close and tight-knit community. These kids and their parents, they're here at our facility in Norwood. 6,
Reminds
sometimes
me
7
of somebody
days a
right
week.
now.
It's a close, tight bond, and I think for all of us, we have lost family.
The NTSB says it'll have a preliminary report in 30 days, but a final report won't be ready until they have final conclusions. They're still scouring the debris field at the bottom of the Potomac for evidence to help in that investigation. Of course, the key will be...
Well, they pulled out the black boxes from what I understand now, so...
the flight data recorders, the so-called black boxes from both the helicopter and the passenger jet. But NTSB officials say a priority now is recovering the remaining bodies so that families could be reunited. Amna?
John, as you reported there, even as that recovery mission was underway, looking for those bodies in the river, and the investigation had just gotten underway, we saw President Trump take to the briefing room and offer that analysis and start to attack Democratic administration and diversity initiative. What's been the reaction to those remarks from the president?
There have been very strong reactions from people who work in the transportation safety field, particularly at the fact that he drew conclusions less than 24 hours after the incident.
Yeah,
I spoke with Peter Gold, who's
dumb.
the former managing director of the NTSB.
I don't think so.
He said he was appalled.
You don't think it was a little bit fucking quick to come out and say that?
I looked through history, and
DEI
every time I've seen something like that, when President Trump makes a statement of some kind, he has the information to back it up. I mean, he may not be letting on, but something tells me he knows a lot more than what we're being fed by the media.
I don't know, B. I don't buy it that the person was a DEI. You know what I mean? And that's why the accident happened. I don't buy that, B. I don't buy it.
Ann says, bye, guys. I don't know what that's all about. I hope she didn't leave us, but...
Well, where's she gone? We're about to jump ship. Anyways, B, again, we'll be covering some of this again tomorrow night, right here on the FFN network, FFN network special, investigating the oh gee, B, I can't even talk anymore, man.
The air crash down in Virginia.
Why is that doing that to me, man?
I don't. It's because you're getting old.
I
You
think
may you
so.
may be going on the air tomorrow. Tomorrow night, unfortunately, I have a date with Mrs. B. So we will be incommunicado.
Oh, you'll be in Incommunicado. Huh?
Yes. It's a great place to go.
Yeah, I like Communicado.
Incommunicado, yeah. We're going
Um,
incommunicado.
all right, sounds good. I hope when you get a minute, you'll tune us in and see what's going on. Thanks for bouncing on with me again tonight. We got to limit the shows to to an hour for the time being. So, with that being said, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to a special FFN network. The investigation there of the helicopter that crashed into the jet, and it's not uh, it's not about the actual I don't know, man. 67 people lost their lives, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we're thinking about right here on the FFN network. So again, try to catch us tomorrow, 8 p.m. right here on the FFN network. I'm Blazeman along with my sidekick, Mr. B. Hope everyone enjoyed his show last night. And peace and love to each and every one of you out there. B, hit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have family, if you're close enough, hug them. Tell them you love them. Because you never know when something like this can happen, and you or they might be next. I'll see you all again soon. Take care.
You have just watched an FFN Network production.